Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today, inshallah, we will start a new series of anatomy lectures. This is the first lecture of block 1, first module, which is Foundation 1 module. This is the lecture of FA001. The learning objectives are briefly describe the applied branches of anatomy, describe the anatomical position, and describe the anatomical planes of the body. The applied branches of anatomy are gross anatomy, which is also called as macroscopic anatomy. It deals with studying those structures of the body that can be distinguished with the naked eye, that is, without the help of microscope. We can learn gross anatomy with the help of diagrams, prosected specimens, models, and video films. In this, we do the dissection of the cadaver and we study through the cadaveric anatomy. Histology. Histology is also called as microscopic anatomy. It deals with the study of the finer details of the body structures with the help of light or electron microscope. The electron microscopic structure is called as the fine structure or the ultrastructure of the body components. We make the slides by a long process and then study that slide under the microscope. Embryology. Developmental anatomy. It deals with the study of the formation and the development of an embryo and fetus. Then the neuroanatomy. It deals with the study of the structure and the organization of the nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord. Regional anatomy, which is also called as topographical anatomy. It is the study of the anatomy of the specific portions or regions of the body. In the traditional system of MBBS, we study according to the regional anatomy. There are three main anatomical regions. Number 1 is head and neck, number 2 is trunk, and number 3 are the extremities. In the head and neck region, we study the head and the neck part. In the trunk, there is upper part, which is named as thorax. There is the middle part, which is named as abdomen, and the lower part, which is named as pelvis. Below the pelvic diaphragm, there is perineum. We have two extremities, which are upper, and two which are lower. The extremities are also named as limbs. In the upper limb, we have arm, forearm, and hand. In the lower limb, we have thigh, leg, and foot. So these are the regions. In the modular system of MBBS, we study anatomy with respect to systems. This is named as systemic anatomy. It deals with the study of the specific systems of the body. For example, we study the urinary system, we study the reproductive system, integumentary system, in which we study the skin, skeletal system, in which we study the bones and joints, muscular system, in which we study the muscles, nervous system, in which we study the brain and the spinal cord, circulatory system, in which we study the arteries, veins, and lymphatics, the endocrine system, in which we study all endocrine organs of the body, lymphatic system, in which we study the lymphatic vessels and lymphatic organs, digestive system, in which we study the organs of the digestion, and the respiratory system, in which we study the lungs. Functional anatomy. Correlation of the function of any organ or part of the body with its structure is named as functional anatomy. That is, we relate the gross anatomy with the physiology in functional anatomy. Surface anatomy. It deals with the relationship of the deeper structures to the surface of the body. Deeply located structures such as heart, lungs, stomach, blood vessels, and nerves can be marked on the skin surface. Marking on the skin surface is named as surface anatomy. Comparative anatomy. It is the comparison of the anatomy of the human being with that of the other animals. Radiographic anatomy. It deals with the study of the structure of the human body by various imaging techniques, that is X-ray, CT scan, or MRI. Surgical anatomy. It entails the study of those anatomical facts which are of practical value to the surgeons. Applied anatomy, which is also named as clinical anatomy, it is the clinical aspect of any organ or application of the knowledge of the anatomy for the diagnosis and treatment of the diseases. Now, the second objective is anatomical position. What is anatomical position? It is also named as standard anatomical position. It refers to the position of a body when a person is standing erect or upright with its eyes looking forward to the horizon and facing forward, with each arm hanging on either side of the body with the palm facing forward, and the feet are together with toes pointing forward. So this is the normal anatomical position of the body. Now, third objective is anatomical planes. Various imaginary planes have been proposed to pass through the body to facilitate the description of the relation of structures within the human body. There are three main anatomical planes. Number one is the sagittal plane, number two is the transverse plane, and number three is the coronal plane. This one is the coronal plane. Number one, it is the median plane, or it is also named as mid-sagittal plane or longitudinal plane or vertical plane. This plane separates the body along the midline into left half and the right half of the body. Any plane which is parallel to this median plane is named as sagittal plane or the parasagittal plane or the paramedian plane. Again, I will explain. This plane, which is longitudinal or vertical or in the midline, or you can say it is in the median plane. This plane is named as mid-sagittal plane. This plane is dividing the whole body into the right side and the left side of the body. Any plane which is parallel to this mid-sagittal plane is named as sagittal plane or the parasagittal plane or the paramedian plane. Number two is the coronal plane. See here, this is coronal plane. It is also vertical plane and it is at a right angle to the median plane. The median plane was dividing the body into right and left half of the body, but this coronal plane is dividing the body into anterior half and the posterior half of the body. This is the anterior or the front of the body, and this is the posterior or the back of the body. This coronal plane is also named as frontal plane. The third one or the last plane is the transverse plane. This is transverse plane. If the body is divided horizontally into upper and the lower sections, we get a transverse plane. Such a plane is at right angle to the mid-sagittal plane or the sagittal and the coronal plane. This one is the horizontal plane and the previous two planes were vertical planes. So this is the lecture. I hope you understand. Thank you very much.